We are in a very interesting place indeed. We've decided to spend the day camping. How cool is that? And this is proper camping. We are in a cave on the rocky surface of a ridge overlooking the basin, and it's just absolutely stunning. I cannot believe how lucky we have been to come down here today, and I'm very sad that it's now at the end of my stint that we're coming here for the first time. But my name is Tess. I'll be taking you out for an escape to nature today from a cave on the side of a cliff face. Behind the camera is Morgan. And is this not the most spectacular place to have a braai, to sleep over for the night, have a nice little bushwalk down to here, or up to here and then down, I suppose, and just having an all-round spectacular adventure. They are very small birds. They've just got these beautiful long flight feathers because they make these huge migrations and of course specialize in catching aerial insects, so insects on the wing. So they have to have these beautiful feathers to help them steer. But they look very flat. They found a beautiful little flat surface there. It's at a bit of an angle coming downwards towards us. But they do look rather comfortable. Oh, please won't you call again? So this is really the ideal resting spot. There's not a breath of wind coming in this morning. Sheltered from the rain. Sheltered from predators even, because they can just fly up into their nest. They have got an almost infallible spot. Unless the rain starts coming in sideways at an angle, which we know it can, they're probably going to keep pretty dry. But again, that little hole where they've got their nest is so well hidden, even the elements won't get into there, I wouldn't think.
You really would think, I mean, if you were very far away and you just see this sort of activity in the sky, you would think there's probably an elephant or giraffe carcass, and those are vultures. As I said, much like vultures, they do make use of thermals, and in that way they can save a lot of energy. They can just soar around, and then the only time they really have to exert some of their energy is when they come in for landing. But hopefully they stick around. We had a brilliant sighting on, I think it was Tuesday, of a black rhino that came midday to the water for a drink, obviously to cool down as well. And because rhinos don't see all too well, you know, the rhino just came up to them, and I don't know who got the biggest scare, the rhinos or the actual birds, but they all just took off instantly, and then they just moved off to another end of the waterhole. Jeez, it's a lot of them. They have been so chilled out, just splishing and splashing every now and again. One of them actually splashed some water towards the stalks, and then a couple of them took off. It was rather spectacular. But as you can see, they just moved over to the other side. I always wonder, these stalks that just sort of sit in the sun, how hot must it not be for them? Because of course, you know, they've got predominantly black feathers. They do have some white in there as well. But I'm wondering, I would not have taken off. If I was the stork, I would just sit there when the elephant splashed me. Now we are looking at my favorite bird, which is an African jacana, for those of you that are not familiar with these birds. And we of course have the help and assistance of our wonderful zoomies. So I'm so happy that we are getting to see this bird up close and personal. Generally, you know, they are between the reeds and between the grasses, and it's really tricky to see them. But this one is actually at the pan that is close to the dam cam. Oh, I'm a poet today. Now, this is my favorite bird for various reasons. They are really stunning. They've got this blue coloration, this reddish brown, as you can see, yellow. Ooh. But what I love most about them is their social structure when it comes to breeding. Now, these birds are what we refer to as polyandrous. If you are not too familiar with that terminology, all that means is the female is a loosey-goosey. She literally just finds a male to mate with, have her fun, and she leaves the eggs with him. So he does all of the incubation, all of the parenting. He becomes a single father once she leaves. And they really are phenomenal. Woo! As you can see, we are currently in Juma at Gowrie Dam. And this rain literally came out of nowhere. It has, of course, been overcast and drizzling a little bit, but it just started pouring down. And this buffalo, I don't know if he'll stay in the water or if he will move off. However, I wonder if animals experience the same as we do. I don't know if any of you did this as kids, but my brother and I always negotiated with my mom to swim when it's raining, because then the water is warmer, and she'd always say, no, you're gonna get sick. Then we're like, no, we're not, it's warm. I wonder if it's the same for the animals, you know. Is the water temperature actually a little bit hotter then? No, I think that was just a cloud break. And this literally, you know, is typical weather in Greater Kruger.
Now this tortoise, or reptile shall we call it, Eonotosaurus, lived about 260 million years ago. And it didn't have a shell. But it is at least one of the common ancestors between the turtle tortoise and terrapin. So it looked more like a wide lizard-like creature with quite a large or rounded belly, but no shell. It had a tail, it had 4 limbs, it kind of looked like a water or a monitor lizard with a really wide midsection.
It really has been an incredibly eventful day on Escape to Nature, with everything big and small, spectacular views down to tiny things. It's been really, really brilliant, and some really great in-depth conversation today. So I must thank all of you for your questions and obviously for interacting with us. It is our favorite part of the day. We appreciate that you were on the back of the vehicles with us. And it really has been a total pleasure answering your questions and engaging as much as we did today. Thank you for enjoying the cave with me and Morgan. It was really fantastic. And thanks for joining us for a beautiful escape to nature. Unfortunately, it is that time of the day where we are going to have to say goodbye, but don't forget that the Sunset Safari crew will be out at 3:30 p.m. Central African time. And if you want to watch in between now and then, don't miss out on Wild Watch and Just Nature to keep you entertained with all of our bests. Have an amazing day. We'll see you all a bit later, and thanks again for the company.